Hello, today we'll be looking at a new RC car. It is called the H1 Hurtle and it's from JJRC, and you'll probably notice it's based around the sort of Hummer. And this is kind of different from the models I've looked at before. This is built around going quite slowly, having high torque. It's got a brush motor, has a top speed of about 15 kilometers an hour, which is not too fast. But I sort of think it's more friendly for smaller children if you're thinking of that sort of purchase. It's not going to run away with them, and some of the ways you get into the car are a bit more basic as well. Let me show you. I've taken the opportunity of getting this out of the box because it was mainly packaging, and this is what you get. This is the main guide. This is the beast itself. It's 1/12 scale, and it does look very scale. It's got these sort of working lights here, and I think the headlights come on as well. It is four-wheel drive. It doesn't seem to have a differential. I noticed that all the wheels turn the same direction at once, and if you hold on the wheels you can't turn it. And what was interesting about this, and I'll demonstrate by looking at a different car. If you look at a previous model I looked at, the Twister, and I modified this with Express LRS and FPV, one of the things you have to do to get into the battery, take these clips out, take the body off, battery goes there, you've got loads of wires and stuff. And that's all pretty basic, but I think like if you were giving this to sort of 9-10-year-old, they might lose these, they might put their things in the wrong place, smash that up. This one is interesting because you've got this little thing at the back, albeit you do need to just twist a screwdriver there, and you take this out and that is where you put the battery. It just goes sort of in the boot there. There's no getting in this bit at all. In fact, it doesn't come off. There's no clips or anything. So with that, you of course get some instructions. You get the controller, and you get this bag of bits, which has a USB charger for the battery, a screwdriver for tightening up that little rear thing, and this 2-cell Li-ion battery, so running at around 7.4 volts. Quite low capacity this one though, I noticed. This is just 600 milliamp hours. Nothing like you get in this sort of car. We generally get a 1500 milliamp hour battery. It does talk about a variable speed thing as well on the radio, and what you seem to have is a throttle dual rate, which is just this little dial that you turn. I suppose you turn it down, it goes less fast essentially for what you do. You turn it up, it goes faster, so should be good for crawling. It hasn't got the massive articulation of a normal crawler. This is kind of more your toy edition, but let's get the batteries charged, let's plug stuff in and let's see how it works. Charging the battery, green and red lights flash, say it takes about 150 minutes according to the instructions. And when it's finished charging, solid light. Now, I talked about having this accessible thing for the battery, and that was good because you didn't have to take the whole thing off. But to be honest, I found it quite fiddly. The battery lead's quite short. It's quite difficult to arrange the battery in such a way where you can put the top on properly, and then it's quite fiddly to do the screw back up again. So I'm not sure about that one. Nice lot of metal parts underneath the car, and it switches on via this switch at the bottom. And then the headlights are on, and we've got the roof lights as well, which is pretty cool. If you turn the wheels, the indicators or blinkers go, and that's the same on the front and the back. And as you reverse, for some reason, you get the lights both blink, sort of hazard of coming backwards sort of car, I guess. You've got the steering trim adjustment on the controller, and you get a reasonable range, so it's quite easy to get that going in a nice straight line. Well, I'm just outside in the garden for the first run because I wanted to see exactly how this works. It looks like it's nicely trimmed. If I just do that, yeah, that's good. So this is it with throttle at the lowest dual rate, and if I... Actually, it's not too quick there. So if we turn it all the way up, still not super quick, but that's what you get. So I thought I've got some nice little bits in here just to drive over, see how it is. Some lumps and bumps. Seems to go quite well over there. I kind of like the way it bounces around on the suspension. I think that's fun. quite a slow start up. You can hear the motor, and the turning circle could be a little bit tighter. I think because it's got no diff, it struggles to turn because all the wheels are driving at the same. Let's see if we can get up that little hump. Trying to drive in the poop. More speed needed. You can hear that motor buzzing away there as we go. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a true crawl experience, but you know, it can get up things. It can go slowly. I don't think it's going to get up something like that. Try one wheel at a time. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, it was alright. Yeah, I think we'll take this off into the woods and have a quick go. Welcome to the woods. We're here. We got this little dude, and we've got a variety of terrains here. We've got the sort of the sort of dirty track. We've got more sort of leafy stuff. We've got a couple of big ridges, sort of grassy verges. It's a question of how will it cope on these. Will it be fun to drive? Is it going to get stuck? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do for starters is just drive it along and see how it does. Sort of an alternative way of walking. You take your little car for a walk and sort of go along with it. Don't stop a touch. Well, I suspected it's got no problems with this sort of terrain. Quite happy just bouncing along there. So we can get a little bit more intense if we try going up this grass verge. Let's see what happens. It's pretty thick leaves here and a bunch of big logs. Oh, that's a good one to try and crawl over, isn't it? There's a big log there. Yeah, this is pretty hard going, I think, for this sort of scale. It's caught on a twig there. Oh, it's not going to get over that one. That's too big. Not a problem. Flying along. That is just about top speed, which is not very quick. But, you know, it's not too bad. So there was another trail up here, which is quite leafy. Let's see how it does. It's whoop. I had a twig caught on it, but now it's alright. Whoa, hello. Been off the tree with it. It might not look bright on the camera, but the lights certainly help show where it is. So it said this thing would run for about 20 minutes on that little battery. I'm not sure. I mean, I've been running it for about 10, maybe 15 minutes in quite hard conditions, and I've now got my finger deep on the throttle, and it's fast walking pace. But it's not able to escape from me, at least on this surface. Maybe it's because it's so bouncy. It's doing an alright job though. I'm not quite sure that the torque is there. But those lights are flashing. Okay, well there you go. What did we think of this? Well, it did okay for what it is. And we've got to realise that this isn't a hobby grade crawler. That one of those goes between like $500 and $1,000 or pounds. Amend to your own currency. So this is very much a sort of toy, bit of fun to have, and very much built around being a bit of fun scale toy. And I think it's sort of suitable for your younger child who can take it out, have a drive around. It's not going to go crazy, it's not going to smash itself into trees and stuff like that. That said, a couple of little complaints that I thought could be improved, one of which is this battery compartment. Just really fiddly to get that in and out, and because it uses such small batteries, you probably will want to get a couple of extra, and I couldn't see the extra parts for sale yet. I think when those headlights were flashing, it was telling me that the battery was starting to go low. So although 20 minutes runtime is possibly something you'll get if you're driving it around the house, when you're going over like rough, very difficult terrain that's really using all the power, it's going to drop down considerably. So I started getting those flashing lights maybe less than 10 minutes in, and then rather than sort of just stopping, it just sort of started going really slow, so I could just walk along with it while the throttle was held down. But nice metal components there. That's very tough. I wasn't bothered about getting water splashed on it. It says it's Ipx4 rated. That means that it can get like splashes from puddles and stuff, but it can't be hosed. So if you get it dirty, don't hose it back down again. That would be bad. Just wipe it. Nice, you get everything in a pack. You get a reasonable controller. Two distances on the website. One says 50 meters, one says 100 meters. I would argue that when you're driving this around 50 meters, it's already a spec, so you don't need to go too far. It's more something you'll keep in range. And I really enjoyed getting those little close-up shots. So I thought that was quite good fun. So if this is something you or perhaps one of your children might be interested in, then there's a link and you can check it out on the Banggood website. And thanks very much, Banggood, for sending this over. It was good fun to drive around. Anyway, I hope that review's been helpful. I'll catch you next one. Bye for now. Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.